Welcome back to Empowering the Educator Within. I'm your host, Christina Shalla, and today's episode is a follow-up to episode 26, where we explored how IB schools can move beyond buzzwords and actually make transdisciplinary planning work. Now, let me ask, have you ever led a team planning session that felt productive in the moment, only to find that the very next day, your team is sitting at their desks, staring at their screens, unsure of what to do next? You thought everything was clear, the meeting felt productive, ideas were flowing, everyone left with nods and smiles. So why does it feel like the clarity evaporated overnight? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. The problem isn't that your team isn't motivated or willing to collaborate. It's that there isn't a structure in place to turn that collaboration into something concrete. In today's episode, we're walking through a step-by-step approach to running IB team planning meetings with purpose, so that what happens around the table translates into clear action in the classroom. Picture this. The team meeting had energy. People were engaged. Ideas bounced from one subject area to another. And by the end, there was this shared sense that something meaningful had happened. But then, the next day rolls around, and you as the coordinator start getting messages. Teachers are unsure of what comes next. The plan feels vague. Some are hesitating to move forward. Others are waiting for clarification. And a few are just staring at a blank screen, unsure where to begin. And you're left wondering, didn't we just sort all this out yesterday? This is what's known as a brainstorm hangover, a term coined by business designer Rohini Venkatraman. It's what happens when the energy of a planning session fades and nothing concrete was captured. You had ideas, but not direction. To avoid the hangover, you have to start before the meeting even happens, with a clear vision. What kind of structure will help your collaboration lead to real, usable plans? What do you want teachers to walk away with? The IB tells us that learning should be inquiry-led and transdisciplinary. That sounds inspiring, but it doesn't come with a blueprint. That part is up to you. You'll need to design a framework that works for your team, starting with a shared planning space. You might lay it out as a 9-frame, a web, a flowchart, or another format that reflects how your team thinks and works, like we've done in our own transdisciplinary framework model. The shape doesn't matter as much as the purpose. It needs to clearly organize contributions and show how subjects connect. So picture it. A planning board with a box for each contributor. Language arts, math, visual and performing arts, PE, modern foreign languages, even ELL and learning support. Together, these form a panoramic view of the unit, showing how every voice links to a shared inquiry and direction. At the top of this planner sits the foundation, your transdisciplinary theme, central idea, key concepts, and lines of inquiry. It's the compass for everything that follows. This diagram isn't just a visual, it's a living document. Every box links to the others. Each teacher contributes their piece, but it's all woven into one shared plan. With your framework in place, it's time to walk yourself through the meeting before it starts. What should the flow of the session look like? Who will speak first? How will ideas be captured? You might begin by grounding the team in the big picture. For example, maybe your unit falls under the transdisciplinary theme of sharing the planet. The central idea might focus on sustainability and human impact, with lines of inquiry exploring environmental responsibility, renewable energy, and global citizenship. From there, guide the team through the planner. Start with the unit of inquiry, then move through each subject: language arts, math, the arts, PE, foreign languages, asking teachers to share standards, learning experiences, and how they see their subjects connecting. As ideas are shared, the planner begins to fill out, and so do the connections. A music teacher might echo themes from a novel. Math data might tie into a science investigation. ELL and learning support teams layer in scaffolding and supports that align to what's been shared. The meeting wraps, and this is the turning point. Instead of everyone drifting back to their classrooms, hoping they got it, each teacher now opens the individualized planner you've already prepared. And because of the way it's designed, they begin by referring directly to the shared team planning board. No blank screens, no guesswork, just a clear connection between team collaboration and individual planning. Once the meeting's over, planning begins. But here's the key. Not everyone plans in the same way. Each group of teachers brings a different lens to the planning table, and that means their planner needs will vary. While everyone works within the same timeline, what they're planning for looks different. That's why it's essential to have individualized templates ready ahead of time, each tailored to reflect specific roles. These aren't generic forms. They guide teachers through what's most relevant to them, starting with the information captured in the shared team planner. And because each template includes an overview of the full unit, whether it lasts 6 weeks, 7 or more, teachers can keep referring back as the learning evolves. They can adjust, align, and respond to student inquiries without losing the thread of the unit. If you're wondering what this might look like in practice, we've got you covered. Head over to the blog article linked in the show notes. You'll find sample planners you can use as a base or adapt to fit your school's needs. Now, let's rewind a bit, because when that first meeting actually happens, it's your moment to lead with clarity. You'll start by sharing your transdisciplinary framework and walking the team through how the meeting will flow. Let everyone know how their contributions will shape the unit and exactly where to record them. Then introduce the individualized planners. Show how each one connects back to the team planner, and explain how teachers will use theirs to build out their own subject-specific and weekly planning. Stick to your structure, keep things moving, and make sure that by the end, each section of the team planner is complete. Then remind your team, this isn't the end of planning, it's the launch pad. Follow-up meetings during the unit should never feel like starting over. Each week you return to the same team planner. You revisit what was covered, look ahead, and see what needs adjusting. What new inquiries have emerged? What needs to shift? Because when your unit is structured around a shared plan, every week builds on the last, and the learning stays connected. When the unit wraps, you begin a fresh cycle using the same framework model, a fresh team planner, a fresh unit focus. But the structure stays the same. That consistency is what makes collaborative planning sustainable. At the end of the unit, don't skip the final step, reflection. Your team planner should include a section at the bottom for looking back. What worked? What shifted? What surprised you? And most importantly, what learning stood out? These insights help close the loop and set the stage for your next cycle of collaborative planning. So, if you're tired of planning meetings that feel great in the moment but fall apart by morning, Consider this your invitation to rethink the way your team collaborates. You don't need to wait for a ready-made solution. You just need a clear plan, a shared space for ideas, and a structure that turns those ideas into action. Want to see what this looks like in real time? Check out the blog article linked in the show notes for planner visuals and guidance. You'll also find tools like these in Empowering the Educator Within, our book and workbook set, and in ESB Planners, our digital software built to support schools just like yours. Thanks for tuning in, and in a future episode, we'll zoom in on individualized teacher planners and how to design them so they link seamlessly with your team strategy. Until then, keep empowering the educator within.